and upper class. And then modal, we said is the same thing as mode. It's the one that has the biggest number of people who said it. And midpoint is when you add the upper and lower class and divide them by 2. You're finding the middle of that class. Now, all of that is getting you ready for this first question in 13.3. 13.3, this very first question.
Well, I have a question real quick before we do
Yes.
that. If you said you wanted to find the midpoint of the whole entire chart,
I would never do that.
but I'm just saying,
You would do the top number plus the bottom number and divide it by 2. So 0 plus 49 divided by 2 would be the midpoint of the entire frequency
Okay.
distribution.
I just wanted to make sure I understood with that zero being
Yep, you were good, because 0 can be an answer.
there. Okay.
All right, for this one, I gave you a frequency distribution. 7, and I don't know what this is about, but 7 people chose 40 to 49. 5 people chose 50, 59. It could be ages, it could be miles, it could be dollars, it could be whatever. We don't know what it's about, and we really don't care. Question A says, determine the total number of observations. So how would I get the total number of observations? Add what? You add up all the frequencies. Because 7 people said this, 5 people said this, so we're going to add up all the people's answers. So if I come over here, I'm going to do 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 7 plus 1. So 25 is going to be my total number of observations. Are we good? So that would be question A. 25. The width of each class, which means they're all going to be the same. So it doesn't matter which one you pick because they're all going to be the same. So we can either list out all of them in one class and count them, or we can subtract the 2 and add 1. So I don't care which one we use, I'm just going to come to this one. So I can either do 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Or I can subtract them and then add 1. So if you do it this way, how many numbers did I list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's 49 minus 40? 9 plus 1 is 10. So either way you do it, the class width is 10, meaning there's 10 answers in each class. So we did the highest limit minus the lowest limit plus 1. That's how we got our width. High minus low plus 1. Now, the next one says the midpoint of the second class. So we go to the second class, and we would do high plus low divided by 2. So it would be 59 plus 50 divided by 2. I get 54.5.
Did you say divided by 2 or plus?
Divided by 2.
Now, be careful, Sharon, I think I know what, did you say 54.5? 84. Okay, here's what I think you did. If you do 59 plus 50, if you do divided by 2 like that, it is only dividing the last number by 2. It is not dividing the whole thing by 2. So what you need to do is you need to add them and get an answer. Then divide the answer by 2.
Gotcha.
You're going to get a totally different answer. So 54.5 is going to be the midpoint of just the second class. Now, a good way to tell did I screw that up or not is the midpoint needs to be in the middle of that class. So if all of these numbers are in the fifties, then the middle should be in the middle of the fifties. So when you said 80, I'm like, oh, it's gotta be in the 50-somethings. Modal class or classes. What is my modal class?
The one that says like 40 to 49 and 80 to
No,
89. Because it's
40
the-
through 49 and 80 to 89.
So
Yeah,
we
that's
would
what I'm
say
saying.
40 through 49 and 80 through 89.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because they both appear the most. 7 people said 40 to 49 and 7 people said 80 to 89. So I have 2 modes, which is okay. It's okay to have 2 popular answers. Now, my last question says, what are the class limits if we added another class? So if I were to come down here and I were to put 2 more boxes, what would those 2 boxes be?
100 to
100 to
109.
109. So 100 to 109 would be the next class if I were to add another class. We good? And if we look on our spreadsheet for just a second, the first question says, use the frequency distribution to find the number of observations, the width, the midpoint, the modal, and the next class, which is the problem that we just did. So you're going to have a problem on the test like this one. Good? All right. Now, the next ones are not that bad. They're pretty easy.
10.
Do what?
That was number 10.
That was number 10.
How you
Yes,
supposed
ma'am.
to remember all?
You just
Gotta exercise that old brain,
I
Deidre.
know, tell them them right there, they'll ask you all your questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, count.
it
It's
is.
easy while we're doing it, but then
I
when we get
know,
to
when
the-
you go home, you've got, it's just practice.
You're like, what?
Okay, a hot dog vendor is interested in the number of hot dogs he sells each day. The number of hot dogs sold is indicated below for 32 consecutive days. So for the first day he sold 15, the next day he sold 16, the next day he sold 19, etc. Construct a frequency distribution letting each class have a width of 1. Note were no days in which the vendor sold 17 hot dogs. However, it is customary to include a missing value as an observed value and assign it to a frequency of 0. So it wants us to do a frequency distribution. So we're going to put hot dogs and we're going to put frequency. Okay? Now, we're going to start with whatever my smallest number is. So what is my smallest number?
15.
15, and our class width is 1, which means we have 1 answer per category. So 15 is 1 answer, so that's all that's in that one. So once we start counting, we continue to count, and we do not skip once we start counting. So 16, 17, 18, 19, and what that note says is, even though there's 17, we still write the number 17. So once you start counting at 15, you don't skip any numbers until you're done. So, what do we have to count to?
29.
29. So I'm going to do 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay? Now, for 15, I want to know how many days did he cook 15 hot dogs?
3.
So I'm going to put a 3 beside the 15. Because 3 days he had 15 hot dogs. Beside the 16, what am I going to put?
2.
2. Beside the 17,
0.
I'm going to put a 0 because there were not any. Beside the 18,
3.
I'm going to put 3. Beside the 19,
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Beside the 20,
3.
3. Beside the 21,
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 22 has
2.
2, 2, 1. 24 had 1, y'all with me? And then 2, 1, 2. And then 1, 1. Yay?
Did you make this up?
That one's just a long one. It's not hard, you're just plugging it in. And if you were to add those up, you should get 32 because they told you that there were 32 consecutive days. So that would be a good check, is to say, if I added those up, there should be 32. Because there's 32 consecutive days. Because a lot of people miss this on the computer because they miscount. This was actually nice because they put them in order. And sometimes they don't put them in order. Alright, next one that we're going to talk about is a stem and leaf. Stem and leaf is just as easy as a frequency distribution. So, let me come over to the side before we actually do a real problem. And let's say, we know I went to the beach this weekend. And let's say, at the beach, I was there, and my husband was there, and my daughter was there, and her friend was there, and we had another friend there, and then we had another couple there. I want to put those ages in a stem and leaf plot. Now, what a stem and leaf plot does is it puts their ages in decades. So we had some people that were in their teens, their 20s, their 30s, and their 40s. So my stems are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is for the teens, 2 is for the 20s, 3 is for the 30s, and 4 is for the 40s.
This 25.
You got two, you got,
I'm doing an example. This is an example that I'm just making up, getting you ready for 25.
so you got 2 teams.
So, for 44, I go to the 4 and I put a 4. That represents 44. And then for 48, I go to the 4 and I put an 8. We don't put any commas or anything. This means 44, 48. So now, when I have a 12, I put 1, 2, and then I put 1, 3. Haley was 21, so I put 2, 1. And then the last two people that came with us are 36 and 39. So 36, 39. That's called a stem and leaf plot. I can quickly organize the numbers, and from this I can see the youngest person was 12, which was my daughter. The oldest person was 48, which was my husband. We good? Alright. So, right here it says 20 members were asked to, how many miles they jog a week. Construct a stem and leaf plot. For single digit data, use a stem of 0. So if they're under the age of 10, if they're 6 years old, you would use a 0, 6. So because we have single digit people, we're going to put a 0. We have some teenagers, so we put a 1. We have some 20-somethings, and we have some 30-somethings. So we're going to go through. We got some 40-somethings. So 12 and 15, I'm going to put a 2 and a 5 by the 1. That's 12 and 15. My next two are going to be 0, 4 and 0, 7. I'm just doing them a couple at a time. And then I have a 1, 2, a 2, 5, and a 2, 1. I have a 3, 3, a 1, 8, a 0, 6, and a 0, 8. A 33, an 18, a 0, 6, which is a 6-year-old, and a 0, 8, which is an 8-year-old. 27, 40, and 22. 27, 40, and 22. 19, 13, and 23. 34, 17, and 16. It's just another way to organize data. So I can easily tell by looking at that chart, what's my youngest person? 4. What's my oldest person? How many people did I have in the 20s? I had 5 people in the 20s. 25, 21, 27, 22, and 23. What was the most popular age there? In what decade? The teenagers were the most popular. You with me?
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about for the last few minutes. Yes.
For number 12, what was that asking for number 12?
Okay, number 12 was asking us to construct a frequency distribution. Construct a frequency distribution. So it wanted all of that. That was the answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, y'all, we only have like 5 pages left of homework or notes to go over. So, here's what I'm looking at. So we did some of 11 and some of 13 today. We will finish 13, and we'll do any kind of review that we need to review. And we may even start chapter, whatever's left, 8 and 9. We may start some of 8 just so that y'all can work over it over the break. Homework and test. I will open up the test on Wednesday because I'm going to finish everything up on Wednesday the 27th. So I'm going to open up the test on 6/27/18. Now, some of y'all may want to take it while it's fresh or before you go on break so you don't have to think about it. Some of you may want to study and take it over break. Some of you may want to study and take it when you get back from break. I'm just telling you that the longer you don't do it, you're going to forget it. So if you want to study over break, that's fine, but if you don't do any studying over break, you are going to forget it. So, that's what we're talking about. Let's do, I'm going to say until Monday, 7/9/18. And I'm going to make the homework due on Monday, 7/9/18.
So the test and,
I'll make the test and the homework due the same time. Are we good? That is the day you get back, which means if you're a slack honey and you don't do anything over the break, you better get it done before the break. If you know you're going out of town or you know you're doing whatever, you better do it before you go on break. That is just a last-ditch effort on that night. Are we good? I will send y'all an email of when the hub is open next week. I will send you an email of those due dates.
so the homework is already open.
The homework, yeah, if we click out here, the homework for 11 and 13 and the review is already all out there. Yeah.
When are you gonna put the 8?
I will open up the 8 and 9 on Wednesday. Yeah. Because you may want to go out there and work on 8 and 9 and get a head start on that. Yeah, if you'll leave that door open, I have somebody come in.
So
All right.
if, okay, on the review, I'm on the chapter 11, 13 review, doing the, I think I got.
I don't have a due date on that, so
So do
you,
I need to finish my physical or can I?
you can, it doesn't affect your average.
But I skipped around because the ones that I know I got.
Yeah. So you can skip around. If you don't feel like you need to do it, that's fine. It is not required. But do as much as you feel like you need to do to prepare yourself for the test. Yeah. All right, I am done unless y'all have questions, and I will see you on Wednesday.
How would you